أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. President of Nasimco Al-Hajj Mohammed Baidauji, office bearers, councillors, leaders of Jamaat, Salamun Alaikum. I'd like to begin by apologizing on behalf of our President Al-Hajj Anwar Ramsi and myself and indeed the office bearers for being unable to make the conference on this weekend. Unfortunately, Anwar Bhai is in Najaf, or fortunately he's in Najaf on Ziyarah, and he has asked me to pass his salams and to mention that he will pray for you all at the holy sites, inshallah. And I'm also traveling as well. Nevertheless, the President has asked Ali Rajani, our person who is appointed as councillor, as an appointed councillor, to be there, and I'm sure he will meet you all and he will report back himself on the weekend. I will also liaise with Siddiqa Bai, the Secretary General of Nasimco, to get an update in detail from her. In my point of view, there are a number of wonderful things that our institutions are doing in North America, in Europe, in Africa, in India, and Pakistan as well. Our institutions have been going on for many years. For example, the World Federation has been going on for over 40 years, doing some wonderful work in that time. But I think it's time for youngsters to come through, it's time for fresh thinking to come through, and I've really been pleased to see the progress made under the President, Mohammed Baidauji, and his team as well. I'm sure over the weekend you will discuss various challenges, and there were a few challenges I wanted to also throw out as well, and I'm sorry I can't interact with you to discuss them in a bit more detail. One of the key challenges I think our community faces, and indeed the entire Muslim community faces in the West, is that of rising Islamophobia. Not only is it rising, but it's rampant as well. In Europe, in North America, and in various other parts of the world. And yes, today, brothers and sisters, the word Muslim, the word Islam, has a negative connotation. And this is something we really need to think about in a lot of detail. We need to think about how we can show ourselves and expose ourselves for the value that we add to society. Imagine today the World Federation does $20 million or $22 million of humanitarian work. Nasimco does fantastic work. Our community members throughout the world do great work. Our Jamaats do some truly terrific work, domestically and abroad. But how much actual media spotlight do we get positively? This is something we need to think about. We also need to think about encouraging and energizing and extending our domestic action that we do. So for example, our work for the homeless, our work for hospices and this type of thing. If we're really to show Islam and the values of our Ahlul Bayt that have been inculcated within us, or should be inculcated within us, then we need to add much more value at home as well as abroad. And this is one point of view, one concept that I wanted to just implant into your minds if possible. The other second point, or the second challenge that I see, of which there are many challenges, is the togetherness of our community. And I wondered when I previously took on the role of Secretary General some time ago, in my younger years, I wondered, how can we connect up our community from Mombasa to Minnesota on the one hand and Mumbai on the other. And I always feel that the Khoja international community being so spread out, we need to really make our institutions very, very strong in order to keep that connection. And I think that leads me on to my third challenge, brothers and sisters, a challenge which we may not want to speak about, but which is true, is how much affiliation do our members of our community, our grassroots, really have for institutions. And I see this as a youngster. Some of you call this Generation Y. If you've heard the Generation X and Generation Y debate, a Generation Y, I see my age group not having that affiliation or that connection with their Jamaats, with the region, with the WF. And I think, brothers and sisters, we need to look at our institutions and see how we can create that affiliation, that bond, that feeling towards our institutions from our youth, because we will be redundant if we don't change. These are my points of view. I always speak very directly. And I hope you look at them positively, and I'm sure you will discuss so many other challenges out there as well. I look forward to liaising with Siddiqa Bai, the Secretary General of Nasimco, after the conference, and I have no doubt there are a lot of learnings that will come from it. Thank you so much once again for your time, and inshallah I look forward to meeting you soon. Apologies once again from the President, from myself, and indeed from my office bearer colleagues. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.